Hi guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Boa, and today we're going to be talking about the past 7 days from the TikTok ban to TikTok coming back to Trump's inauguration and the aftermath of that too. There's a lot of things that I've found on TikTok that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, and we're going to be talking about it. And I thought it was, and this is going to be like a 3-part series, so this is going to be like the first part, and then there's going to be a second part and a third part. Maybe there's going to just be a long second part, I'm not sure yet. But I know that we're gonna see some long clips in this video, so there's gonna definitely be 2 parts as a minimum. And that's been happening a lot from TikTok getting banned, which was kind of crazy. I will say I crashed when TikTok got banned, even though I'm not American. 99% of the people that I follow on TikTok are Americans, and I just really love Americans, especially on like social media. I follow a lot of African Americans. That's the majority of what I follow. And sorry if you guys see a fly in this room. I cannot get a hold of it and it keeps flying around near me. But there are a lot of Americans that I follow, African Americans, so I was kind of crashing when I found out TikTok was actually going through with it, banning TikTok. But then the rumor started that Donald Trump would make sure that TikTok will come back when he is inaugurated, and he has like a say-so when it comes to his president role in the new year in 2025. And with that, a lot of people started saying, oh, we think that maybe something is going on. This might be a little bit fishy, because when he was president 4 years back, he was actually the first one initiating the TikTok ban. And people was in like an uproar because a lot of people live off TikTok and have small businesses where majority of the sales comes from TikTok, the TikTok shop. So a lot of people was in uproar back then. So when he came back with like TikTok ban, I don't think people really took it serious, because they've already been reacting to the first time and really took it, make sure that nothing would happen. But this time around, people was a little bit more laid back. I did see a lot of people of color, because that's a lot of the people that I follow talk about it. I didn't really see other people talk that much about it, even though I looked it up. Other people just seem not to really care. And until it was like hours before the TikTok ban was actually going to happen, then I think a lot of people realized that it's going to happen. But because of that first round, people didn't really take it serious this time around, and then it actually happened. And a lot of people has come out with confessions, like creators. People had some weird confessions, and their confessions is basically what they built their platform on. So everything has just been a lie, and it's actually fun seeing, because I don't really follow a lot of influencers and content creators, but I'm not one to ever get influenced to buy anything or from these creators, so I'm not really affected in that way. But I know that a lot of people that do that, so it's kind of wild to see how many that are actually liars and just build up the platform on a big fat lie. So that was a whole crash out before the TikTok ban. And then the day after, I think there was only 12 or 13 hours of the TikTok being banned, and people started getting notification if you were in America that the app would close down. And then TikTok came back again, and people are saying that it looked different, and I totally believe that, because one thing is that Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, that has Facebook, Instagram, he never had profiles TikTok, and he opened 2 profiles for Instagram and Facebook a couple hours before the TikTok ban happened. And then when TikTok came back, they had profiles, and they never had profiles before. So we think that this theory is that Trump and Mark Zuckerberg, that whole crew of wealthy men, get a hold of TikTok in some way, because the CEO of TikTok, in his bio before the ban happened, he said CEO of TikTok, and now it just says TikTok, it just says CEO. So I think for sure that they got a hand in TikTok in some way, maybe got a share in TikTok, something, because a lot of things has happened, a lot of things have changed, and people have evidence. Like, you search certain things when you're in America, things doesn't appear, and I think that's what Trump really wanted, and the government as well, to get a hold of TikTok. And that wasn't really because of that data, the data a lot of people are saying. I think it's mainly because the information that was able to circulate around before the TikTok ban happened, they wanted to stop that. So now if you talk about certain things, maybe you won't be able to, maybe it won't go viral, it might not be able to circulate, people might not really make sure. I don't think it's gonna be able to go around like it used to before if you're in America, because there's definitely some change that have happened, and I definitely can see that as well from me just being here in Australia. The people that I follow and the algorithm and my For You page is totally different after the TikTok ban. I don't know why that is. I even went and blocked Facebook and Instagram on TikTok, the app, because that's what I've heard that will help the algorithm and your For You page to come back. So I did that. So maybe it will come back to normal again. I'm not quite sure, but you definitely should try that if you notice that there's something slightly off with your For You page and algorithm. Try that. But today we're going to be reacting to some videos that I found, and this is going to be interesting to see what is going on. So this is like the inauguration, so Trump's inauguration. I hope I said it right. This first clip is like a clip of who were there at the inauguration, and I'm not surprised that Jake and Logan Paul was there at all. They don't give off Lefty at all, so I'm not surprised. One. He's a YouTube as well. Elon Musk, we'll get to that later. Mark Zuckerberg. That guy looks so creepy to me. I don't know what it is, and that perm as well. Like, he just looked like a character. He doesn't seem real. He just looks like a zombie to me. I don't know what it is. And one thing another person like mentioned that I saw in the comments, like, look at the eyes, because all the eyes are like empty. There's like no life in the eyes at all. It's just like a blank stare. Joe Rogan, I'm not surprised. Boris Johnson, I don't know why the UK Prime Minister was there. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys hear that, that's my washing machine. I'm sorry about that. So a lot of things happened during the inauguration. I think this inauguration, I'm not sure. I feel like there's happened so many events now. I'm kind of mixing it up, but everything has to do with the presidency and Trump. Oh yeah, so this was like wild. Like this comment that he said about the voting and Elon Musk being really good with the computers. Because no way, like the way that Kamala Harris was trending, no way that she wouldn't be able to like be close at winning. I just found it to be really fishy. But yeah, let's listen to this.
And then he journeyed to Pennsylvania, where he spent like a month and a half campaigning for me in Pennsylvania. And he's a popular guy, and he was very effective. And he knows those computers better than anybody, all those computers, those vote counting computers. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon.
Those voting computers, he's really good with those voting computers. Do you know what? I don't even think it's a mistake. I think they just know what they did, and there's nothing no one can do anything about it now. So they were just like throwing it in their faces. And yeah, this is what happens when you let the wrong people get power. But let's see what he's gonna do this time. Oh my god. Let's see what he's gonna do this time with the presidency, if he's actually gonna do anything good. So far, the things that he has revoked are not good, especially if you're a person of color or you're from the LGBTQIA community. That things are not looking bright, let me say that. Okay, so this is like another thing with the president. It's not the inauguration, I know that, but this is like a different event. I'm not really up to date with all the different events. But this priest definitely, I think she's a priest, she had a message to Trump, and she definitely talked about certain things that are definitely gonna be a concern for a lot of people in America now that he's the president. And it was really bold of her to say that in front of him. And the wildest thing, I even read that in the comments as well, is that like Trump is sitting next to his wife, Ivanka, I think her name is, now I forgot, Ivanka, and she is from Russia. She's not even like a resident. And the other people that are in his group, a lot of them have wives that are not even American citizens, which is crazy because they are really like targeting immigrants right now. and trying to get them out of the country. So it's wild to think that they are men that are trying to do that in their country, but at the same time they have wives that are not like American citizens, even though they probably have rights to stay in America. And Trump is definitely going for the ones that are illegal, but there's definitely some illegal immigrants that are good people, and the ones that are trying to show in the news that I've seen so far are people that are illegally there, that are criminals. So, and those I don't really feel that bad about, but I know that just targeting showing those people and really trying to make it seem like illegal immigrants are just like out there to do no good. And I know that there are a lot of people with families that are trying to get a better life for themselves. But yeah, that's the whole game they're playing, and Fox News is definitely a part of that. But let's see this.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands.
And do you hear her voice? She's so soft-spoken, and the way that she's delivering the message is such in a way that's receiving. And when you think about it, I think she's a priest and they're in church, and she's talking about people that are illegal immigrants. She's talking about the gay community. So she's like pointing out these things in a very like receivable way with a really soft tone of voice to make it more deliverable. And do you know what Trump said? I can't remember where it was, but Trump said that he felt that she was aggressive when she delivered that message. This message that we're listening to right now, he felt like that was aggressive. Like, this man is delusional.
To find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger. For we were all once strangers in this land.
True.
May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world.
Look how they're looking at each other. Oh my God. And look. And we have Ivanka. She's not American citizen, and this one over there next in the white thing, she's not American citizen either. And they're just nodding their head like what she said was like crazy. I don't understand. Ooh, oh my God. Okay, let's watch the next clip. Okay, so this one was quite like chef's kiss, but this is kind of crazy because Snoop Dogg performed at the inauguration, and he has been trending a lot because of that. And it's because 4 years back when Trump was running out to be a president, when he became a president, Snoop Dogg made a video talking about how people are discussing if they're voting for Trump and this and that, really just going for his, like, for people's neck that was voting for Trump. This time around, Snoop Dogg is performing at Trump's inauguration, which is wild, because how can you say that 4 years back and now you are performing at the inauguration? And people are like saying, oh, this is like the equivalent to kissing the ring. And this is exactly what this is. This is the equivalent to kissing the ring. Because he got probably paid to do that, and he just took the bait.
I just want everyone to know that they knew that Snoop Dogg felt like this before the performance. They hired him specifically because of how he felt about Trump and the things that he has said about Trump, and they just wanted to prove you motherfuckers can be bought. Because there's plenty of rappers, performers who are pro-Trump. They could have got Waka Flocka up there. Hell, they could have had Ray J up there singing One Wish. But no, they went after someone. Hell, they could have had Ice Cube. But they went after someone who has been extremely vocal, who has called Trump a racist, who has called to his entire fan base racist, who has said anybody willing to perform for Trump is a jigaboo. And now look at you. And he made it a point to quote tweet a video of you talking shit just to prove I can buy you. Just to show you have no integrity. You're not willing to stand on your motherfucking square. Stand behind what the fuck you said.
Do you know what? And I believe everything that she has to say because they are petty like that. They are petty like that. I don't understand how people will not believe that they can be petty like that. And this is the part of the inauguration, but this is outside because the inauguration was supposed to be outside and then it got moved in. And I know this because there's another fellow YouTuber from the LGBTQIA community like me, Amir Odom, that is a full Trump supporter, and he went there actually, so I know that because I see his videos sometimes because it's interesting to see his perspective of things, even though I don't agree with what he say, even though I don't agree with everything that he says sometimes. For the majority of the time I don't agree, but there are also parts where I do agree. I just feel like I agree with a lot of things that he says, but I just don't take it to that level where he takes it. And yeah, if you know Amir Odom, you know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. But yeah, let's see this. This is outside, and they talk with Trump supporters, and it's interesting to see what they have to say. Because they have some...
The golden age of America has arrived. President Donald J. Trump, number 47 in 43 minutes. Happy days are here again.
This is We the Sequel, We the People, round 2, as we take back our capital, as we take back the country after January 6th and all of those people running in jail for no reason. Most of them.
I'm ready to see gas prices under $1.50. I'm ready to see the Federal Reserve abolished. I'm ready to see Trump buy 1 million Bitcoins for a strategic reserve for us Americans to have. I'm ready to see the southern borders secure. I'm ready to see inflation go down to 0. I'm ready for all the Jan 6 prisoners not only to get a pardon, but...
What is the likelihood of that? Because inflation's down to 0. That's never gonna happen. How's that ever gonna happen? Like, I'm not good with economics at all, but I know that is definitely not gonna be able to happen. That I know for sure.
To get multi-million-dollar payouts in the future. And I'm ready to go to Greenland and have a nice hotel stay at a future Trump tower that gets built there. I'm ready for that.
Yeah, you know Greenland is like -30 right now, though.
Well, Greenland is really cold and icy, and Iceland is really green and nice, right?
Yeah, it was like they named it that to trick the Vikings. So Iceland's the green one. So they were like, the Vikings, they were scared of them, so they were just like, yo, we're going to call Greenland Iceland and reverse it. So that the Vikings got to Greenland and were like, fuck.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm really honestly going to be proud to see our president able to walk and not crap himself in front of the world stage. It's nice to have a president that can speak English without mumbling. It's nice to have a president that the people on the world stage actually respect and maybe fear a little bit. Remember when he did the thing with Rocket Man? People said he was going to start World War III. He's like, Rocket Man, I've got the biggest rocket. I got a bigger button. I've got a bigger rocket.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
And everyone said that was going to start World War III. But did it? No, it actually backed off Rocket Man. And in the end, they ended up shaking hands, which had never been done before. Never been done in the history of the world. Yeah. And it's that strength that you need when you come into a negotiation. You don't need some guy bumbling and barely able to walk, rolling up in front of the world leaders. They're laughing behind our backs. They're making us look foolish. At least Trump has swagger. He's got Americana, and he's a badass.
I definitely think he's learned a lot. I think, while we definitely didn't want the last 4 years, I think he's benefited from 4 years of just seeing what can happen. And now he's got the right team assembled. He knows how to move things around. And I think we're going to see real meaningful change.
Yeah, I'm ready for Elon to really, really, really cut most of the 2 million plus jobs in the federal government out of the equation. And I'm ready to see over 400 bureaucracies here in the United States that are like a cancer in God's U.S. Republic completely abolished. The IRS needs to be abolished.
I would like to see, say, Department of Education gone. I would like to see ATF gone.
Why do you want the Department of Education shut down?
Before the Department of Education, we were ranked 9th in the world. Or no, we were 7th in the world.
In education?
Yes, in education. After the Department of Education, I think today, we are about 14th. No Child Left Behind, drastically dumbed down. The curriculums made it so that students couldn't fail. And then every time the curriculum is seen to be upgraded, the teachers union shut it down.
Interesting. Do you think teachers should be paid more?
No.
Why?
There shouldn't be a public education system.
And I'm ready for Donald John Trump to make Bitcoins a legal tender here, like what has happened in El Salvador with Nayib Bukele.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
What's the benefit of having a cryptocurrency reserve?
Well, with Bitcoins, we have to adapt to that as Americans. We have to have that because if we don't, we're going to be very, very far behind of other nations like El Salvador, who's leading the way.
Yeah.
Those people there.
I guess it's just important to have market regulation when it comes to, Bitcoin because of pump and dump schemes. Like, did you see the Haktua coin?
Right. That's a huge problem. We have Bitcoins. They're incredible. And then we have all the scam coins out there. And there are so many altcoins that are just wreaking havoc.
Yeah, because it's
life
hard.
after life.
It's hard because you want to have a free market, but then the crypto world is just so full of scams. It's like you need some element of regulation.
Right. There needs to be some type of thing put in, and hopefully Trump can get it done.
What do you think about this upcoming presidency, bro?
I'm actually Cuban. Okay. I was born in Cuba. I came in 2011. First terms for Trump, didn't really agree with him. Didn't really agree with the way that he spoke about immigrants, especially I was not citizen yet. I didn't think about voting on the second term, but something happened. And I saw that Biden took such a comfortable back seat during July 6th back in Cuba. I don't know if you've heard about the situation.
Tell us about it.
So I think it was 2022. There was a massive revolt all around the island. All the cities were taking to the streets, protesting that they were sick and tired. There's no food. There's no power. The government basically hoards all the resources. And
Trump did actually say now that he's president that he will go for the cartel. I don't know how that's going to play out. The cartel? That's crazy. I don't know. Well, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. But of what I've seen of series and movies of cartel, they're not to be messed around with.
Instead of distributing them like they're supposed to, communism, they give it to the people that were close with them, the agents.
Like Venezuela.
Like Venezuela, exactly, same thing. It was violent. The police there are videos of police breaking into the house of one of the organization leaders. They shot him right in front of the family. You can see the blood running. It's really sad. I was crying throughout that entire place. It was tragic.
And how did Biden respond to the July 6th events?
He didn't do anything. He basically said we're not gonna touch anything revolving around Cuba. We're gonna leave them to their devices. And there's a group of Cubans that today are gonna be having a protest in front of the White House to basically encourage Trump to look at that situation and try to do something, try to help. And fair.
How long did it take you to achieve citizenship?
Well, for me, it was around 6-7 years. It's not hard. You just gotta know history, learn the history. They literally give you a booklet with the answers.
Jesus. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you. Can you tell me about your sign?
Sure. So mine says protect trans kids. There's a lot of discourse about trans people right now. All of the talking points being made are word for word identical to what they were 20 years ago or 30 years ago about gay people.
It's like we have mutants living among us on planet Earth.
I think if kids want to change their name, explore gender identity, do whatever the fuck they want, that's fine. If they at some point want to do something medical about it, then they can have an informed conversation with a parent and or medical professional.
And what threat do you think the next 4 years pose to that?
I mean, Trump said he's going to sign an executive order on day one saying that there are two genders. So there's a pretty imminent threat of getting kicked out of the military, losing gender inclusive care. People are going to die from this, and that's really shitty.
Transgender students in sports became a top issue on the 2024 campaign trail and now a top priority of House Republicans in the new Congress.
The only time that the general public started caring about trans people in women's sports was when they started winning. Like, Leah Thomas isn't even, she's a good swimmer. She's not the best.
Yeah.
There's no epidemic of men going in.
Well, she is the best because she competes with women. That makes her the best. That's why she's the best. That's why she keeps winning. That's why the other females cannot keep up. And it's not like she wins with like a couple of seconds. She's like so much ahead compared to the other women when it comes to like the swimming. So biology does play like a role in that, and her transitioning later in life. That's the part I don't agree with people when like the total lefties. That's the part I don't really agree with them, because there's certain things where there is definitely a difference, and they just want to ignore that, and I don't like that. And that's why we have so many people now, especially because we have seen how this has been playing out the last 4 years, that have gone to the right side, because they've seen how the left side have been playing that up. So
the women's sports and sweeping competition, like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And also being on estrogen long term actually like weakens your physical abilities. And medical transition is often necessary to compete in women's sports for trans people. So like,
hatred has won, and that is depressing. I cried on election day. I know so many other women who cried on election day. This means that so many people have to go into hiding, can't be themselves. People are, like Grant said, people are going to die. People are...
I do believe in that as well. That there are going to be a lot of like, especially if you're in the trans community, you are in danger now. Like, you were in danger before, but you're definitely more in danger now because of what has happened with like the rights for... Oh my god. You're definitely in danger now, so be careful with where you are and stuff like that. Be really, really careful where you are and not being at the wrong place at the wrong time, and yeah, really make sure of that.
It's just I'm legitimately terrified for my immigrant friends. I stay awake at night thinking about them, thinking about trans people. Whether or not you think that gay people should exist, trans people should exist, immigrants should be here or not, what I hope we can all come together and understand is that humans are humans. Maybe they did commit a crime. Maybe they do something that you don't agree with. They are still people. The mass deportations of immigrants.
Hey, Biden supported the Vietnam War and killed a lot
The
of
mass
people in
deportation
Vietnam.
of immigrants is
Biden's
going to kill people.
Right?
Yeah, Biden's shit.
Okay, great.
What are your thoughts on the whole like mass deportation issue?
Mass deportation. My wife is Mexican. Like I said, I live by the border. I love the Mexican people. There's a lot of good people. We definitely start at the top, meaning the worst, and work our way down. You know, necessarily not so many, all these little, people with their families or people second generation, this and that. let's not get too carried away. We'll start with the worst and we'll work our way down. When you got murderers and rapists in San Diego County, we have not just a sanctuary city, we have a super sanctuary city where not only can you not tell ICE if there's a problem with an illegal alien, you can't tell them even if they committed armed robbery or rape. They're like, no, what about the poor rapists and armed robbery? We can't send them back. We can't tell ICE.
We will not allow our local resources to be used for actions that separate families.
So they don't want to use the resources, which is what they calling ICE, just because they want to protect illegal aliens. I think the people that are doing these laws are actually paid off by the cartel. It's a crazy conspiracy. I know. It's one thing having immigration, but when you just have a total open border, and then when they come in, they get free health care, they get free cell phones, they get free hotels when our homeless people are living on the streets. I mean, come on, people. We got to do this legally, right?
We need to have a very solid immigration policy so we keep attracting the best talents across the world to this land to build it up, build the economy, build companies, hire employee people, I pay tax, and I want my tax to benefit my neighbors, my country, and my children, and my neighborhood, my community, right? I don't want other countries to take advantage of United States people.
Scientology is a cult. Thank you.
Are you a Scientologist?
Nope.
Do you think
Use women and children.
Do you think that we're Scientologists?
Nope, just getting the message out, that's all.
Okay, what's the worst thing Scientology's done?
They use children for auditing, so 8, 9, 10-year-olds are asking grown men about masturbation and anal sex.
That's not good. Do you feel like...
Hashtag save the children.
Are you hoping for like exoneration for the January 6th people?
I am indeed. In fact, I was down there at the vigil for the J6ers down on Freedom Corner with Mickey Withoff, who is Ashley Babbitt's mother. In fact, I have Ashley Babbitt's ashes in this necklace right here. I made this necklace with Ashley Babbitt's ashes. I made it for her and her husband.
This morning, new details about 35-year-old Ashley Babbitt, who was shot and killed by a Capitol police officer.
And I was down there and I was told that the word on the street is the guards were told to stay late tonight to help release the prisoners.
Are they being held in D.C. right now?
Oh, yeah. They're not far from here, a few miles down the street.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. Any message to the American people before we go?
You should go watch his movie. This guy makes some great documentaries. I went to his premiere. It was freaking awesome. Thanks, brother.
I appreciate you, Matt. Thanks, Doc. Have a good one.
Yeah.
It's not from the Bible, and I'm totally against all that. I'm standing here for Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Lord of the heavens and the earth.
Wait, I'm a bit confused. You're here for Jesus Christ. However, the pagan symbology is also important.
Well, it's not important to me, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because the plan that was put in place to build Washington, D.C. was a plan, in fact, to honor the ancient gods. And the plan was not to honor Jesus Christ. The people who designed this place, the main people, were into it to honor their Masonic god, who is Satan, recorded about in the King James Version Bible.
Who do you think was controlling Biden behind the scenes?
Obama was definitely a key player. But again, in my research, Obama is more like a manager in Satan's hierarchy. He's got the World Economic Forum, he's got the UN, he's got King Charles and the monarchy, Satan. He's got so many different groups that have extreme amounts of power compared to me.
Yeah. Do you think that there's kind of like a second deep state forming around Trump?
Well, just protect Trump from having that happen, God. Please help him not to make the same mistakes that he made when he was 43rd president of the United States, God.
Where do you get most of your news and information from?
X, not just Infowars.com with Alex Jones.
Did you use X back when it was in control of Jack Dorsey?
Well, I did, and I got suspended multiple times.
Was that kind of a wake-up call for you, just having your account taken down multiple times?
I was really aware of that type of thing back in 2013 when I started listening to Alex Jones. He started to wake me up to how things really work in a general way. How we're in a war and there's a group called the globalists and they want to depopulate the earth and they want to get it down to under 500 million people.
Yeah.
And they want to bring in their new world order system, their technotronic state where you can't buy or sell without the mark of the beast. It's right there in the book of Revelation, the King James Version Bible. I mean, we may live in that time. We may go through it. I'm ready to die for Jesus. I'm never taking the mark of the beast no matter what.
What's the mark of the beast?
It could be a microchip in your hand, this one, your right one, or your left one, and then maybe it's some type of Neuralink chip in your head.
Yeah.
Or maybe something more advanced than that.
Yeah.
Some people have said the nanoparticulates, or however you say it, in those bioweapon shots from Big Pharma are some type of mark of the beast thing. But, anyway.
Hey, man, well, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for your time, man. Appreciate you. And our show's called Channel 5. Be sure to check it out, man. Appreciate you, dude.
You're awesome.
Thank you. You're awesome, too.
Thank God for his life.
Yeah, man.
I love you.
You, too.
I love my conspiracy theories, don't get me wrong, but he's just one that just believes everything that he reads. That is so clear to me that that's what's going on right there. But yeah, that was it for this part of the video. This is was kind of wild to see, like, everything that's been going on, and it's just wild. I think there's more that we're gonna see in the next part. I cannot remember what the next part is now, but there's gonna be more in the next part when it comes to like the inauguration, and also when it comes to like the aftermath of the following days of Trump being president and things that he has revoked, the rights and protection of people of color and different genders, and it is wild. It's shocking to see. This feels so surreal to see from the outside, like from Australia. Seeing it just feels like it's not real, but I just know it's totally real, because when you see videos of people talking about the things that are going on and things that have been revoked and how people are actually crying, because that means that they are in danger, and also means that they might not be able to get a job. It's gonna be hard for them to find jobs. It's just really, really sad to see that things are taking a negative turn like that. It is horrible. It is really, really horrible, because now it just feels like things are setting back. We are going back in time, and that's not the way to go. I definitely think that we were heading towards the right direction, but then we also just had a lot of people that was misleading, and that was really trending for misleading, and then I think a lot of people, because of a lot of the changes of people wanting to be woke and hear what people have to say, I feel like a lot of the things that a lot of people has been talking about, I feel like there are certain people that was being heard that wasn't supposed to be heard, during a time where people was trying to be open and listen to what people have to say, because there has definitely been many years where people have not really been able to see further than their own nose, and I feel like the last couple of like 4 or 6 years, people have wanted to hear and be open to hear people's point of views, and I feel like in that time frame there's been a lot of people that have been heard that should be been heard, and that's how we end up here with this situation with Trump being president again and revoking certain rights. But we will talk about more of that in the next part, so like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.